ridiculous on it. No, he did get...
He did. He played
against Europe.
Europe.
Getting my games mixed up. That is awesome.
It was. I mean, we saw the Q land. He was like, zip, 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 straight to like kick Pete, poor Pete, straight into the turret.
Killed
and like the
Diamond
waiting 5-man spider jumping on him.
And he killed Diamond Prox with it earlier.
Yes, of course.
So he's 3-0 actually on Lee Sin if we count the 1v1 game.
That's a little harsh against Europe.
I was talking about Lee Sin.
Well, technically Lee Sin, but it is all against Europe.
I mean, if you want to be harsh, you could say North America is the only team that didn't win a 1v1 or the tournament.
Oh, that's kind of true. Yeah, that's a little harsh, but we do see actually the AD carry getting locked in, and it is Tristana. That's the champion we've not seen in a while, but we see Nocturne locked in as the jungler for China.
And this is really awesome to me because when you pick a champion like Tristana, you're signaling, I want to be the late game hyper carries, especially when they're trying to combo with Jace, who also scales ridiculously well. Then when they pick Nocturne on top of that, Nocturne is a champion who peaks out really early and dives super hard. So I feel like China's going to be going all out aggression and trying to stop Korea from getting late game composition. I love games like this.
So what do we think? Early game pressure. Which way is it going to come from? Because clearly Korea, with the Tristana in there, they want to get a little bit later. But with Twisted Fate, they're going to be making moves in the lanes.
Yeah, so I think LPL is going to be attempting to put all the pressure on them. They are the ones that have the initiative too, but it's going to be on Insect to try to stop that. What Korea's done with this team comp is they have a bunch of late game champions with the early game power of Lee Sin to try to negate that. And then when they hit 6, they're going to try to get through the mid game with Twisted Fate. So they have 2 stop gaps to try to stop China from coming through, and it's going to be about whether they can hold.
And you've got that potential, of course, obviously with the Paranoia in there. Just saw Diana had selected teleport as well, so Messiah's going to have the teleport available. So they could all potentially clump onto one spot at the same time.
And that's something they have to be very concerned about if it's the area of effect composition coming in from China. We see what happens when teams all clump up against them.
Absolutely. So what, guys, we are excited. It is the grand finals here, the all-star grand finals in a pretty much a packed house, it has to be said.
Man.
No doubt about it. There is lights, neon lights everywhere, neon signs that get shown all across there. You can see it's got LOL. There's a number of WE and IG signs as well, certainly in the top right-hand corner, but we are about to get underway. Here it is. It is the Chinese LCL team, Korean LCL team on the blue team. LCL and LPL, guys, I'm going to get confused.
It's not going to get confusing, don't worry.
Not at all, not at all. But it is the Korean LCL team, the League of Legends Champion League. Whew, that's a mouthful to say right there.
Versus the League of Legends Pro League.
It's the All-Stars, China versus Korea. You guys all know at home what it's going to be. And the red team looking like they may well go walking straight headlong into Shire. Will he face check that bush?
Oh,
It's going to be a very dangerous move, Jack.
And we were wondering if there was going to be some level, and actually Shine Madlife trying to go!
They're going straight in for it. That's going to be the build up onto Madlife, but the acceleration gate had to be picked as the first skill for Shy. That may well actually hamper him when he goes into lane phase.
Only a little bit. I've seen so many Jaces start the game with the gate just for that level 1 positioning, and since he's ranged, he can quite easily play passively up until that level 2. But because China got the harass down on both Madlife and Shy, they're going to be able to take some positioning here in the blue buff.
We'll see whether China stick around or whether they're going to back off. They're actually backing off in the bush, but that's quite clever because they know there's the ward on there, and it's actually going to keep Korea guessing. They've all gone back.
And we talked about the Korean mind games that happened against North America just now. That was a great Chinese mind game right there, because now Korea's got to be extremely careful about where they go. On top of wards.
We're looking at Insect, and he's thinking, looked like he was thinking of going towards blue, but they've actually hung around, and they're going to check it. Look at it, they're still pinging it. They're still unsure. They still don't know whether to go in.
Even though they're unsure, the only thing that's going to be a detriment to them is if they actually avoid the buff entirely, because China's not making any aggressive moves off here. The biggest benefit is actually going to be, never mind, there is something big happening because they're doing a delayed invade. They may have guessed wrong.
They've guessed wrong, and they're going to walk around the corner, and they've got, oh, China are here. Hold on a minute, you guys are meant to be on our buff, and now it might well be a smite fight. Who's going to get it? It is going to be Insect. Can he get away? He gets the exhaust out, but he's on the backside. Will they go towards him, or will he be prey? He pops the barrier and the flash, and it looks like they've hit and run successfully. Ambition comes down, puts the slow card of Messiah, and all of Korea back away from that one. A great invade.
Really dangerous invade, a little bit touchy, but it definitely will pay off for them. The fact that Insect was able to take that away from Troll will mute their early game power right now. We knew Insect was the stopgap to try to let their lane survive, and that is a fantastic start, not only denying the mana, but the early game pressure from Troll experience-wise.
Wow, so what a start here. The blue buff, of course, is up in Insect's jungle, and he is headed straight for it. Not surprised there. That may well hinder Troll quite severely here. You can see he's trying to take down the red buff now. Had to go for the alternatives. There's, of course, still got Smite available because he didn't win out that Smite fight. Didn't want to use it earlier on. Looks like he will pick up that red buff.
And this also confirms that Korea is getting 3 buffs to just the 1. A lot of times when we've seen the invade buff steals, they just trade, but because it wasn't a trade, it was actually a contest, it's a 1-for-0, not a 1-for-1 trade.
It does, of course, mean that actually the lanes didn't gain any advantage from this one. Shy maybe did because he was up there early. You can see he's hit level 2 before PDD in his top lane. And what do we think of this one? The Jace versus Zac.
Zac's going to have to really survive, I feel like. Shy is such, I mean, Jace in general is such a potent laner, but Shy in particular, because Shy wins lanes with champions he shouldn't win lanes with. It's crazy what he does when he has a champion who should win lane. So he already pushed up, plus he knows that Troll is set back early. The only thing he has to worry about, actually, is Messiah maybe teleporting in behind him, because I feel like Shy is going to be pushed up as far as possible on Jack for a real long time.
Speaking of problems right down in that bottom lane, they both just hit level 3, and Prey he's still at level 1. Both of them are level 3, he's still level 1, only just hit 2 now. And this is actually surely a factor because they went for that blue invade, but they didn't take those golems in the bottom lane.
And another one of the side effects of the blue invade was the fact that he lost his flash and his barrier in that little trade. So we thought it was a huge advantage for Insect, but I didn't have time to factor in all the summoner spell usages. I feel like Korea burned more getting away than China burned chasing.
Well, we'll see whether Insect can gain an advantage back for his team. He has just picked up that red buff, looking like he may well try and come visiting in this bottom lane.
Does have to back off, though. The board does get pinged out, and I think he sensed the play of Wei Zhao and Zhao Zhao just kind of staying a little bit back as he was coming through.
Well, he is a blind monk. You know, he's going to sense these things, as we've seen, of course, against Teemo. But as it stands, it is the mid lane. We just saw Messiah actually coming back, teleporting back in towards that mid lane, but it's going to be the bottom lane where they dive in on towards Wei Zhao. They do manage to get the kick. There's going to be the jump. Forces the flash on Wei Zhao. The hook comes out from Matlow. Doesn't quite find the hole, and they escape successfully.
That was extremely close to working and getting Wei Zhao down, but he waited just in the right moments to use both his flash and his 90 caliber net to get away. Really, the execution power of that gank was so high, and I do think it was still a good gank despite not getting a kill.
Zhao Zhao very low in that bottom lane. We did see, actually, looking in towards the jungle, you can see Troll. He's come around and he's counter-jungling. He realized that Insect was down that bottom lane. He's come straight around, taking the wolves out there. Let's see whether he can gain any more advantages, because it is Korea pushing on this bottom turret.
And what he needs to do now, that is Troll, is he has to go into a lane and actually shove. Taking one jungle camp away does not negate this pressure that Korea has on the bottom lane.
And it is going to be pressure. We do see it's going to be Wei Zhao returning to the lane. I'm not too sure he wants to get too close to this turret. No, he doesn't, because in Korea have taken it. They've got enough of a creep wave there to take the turret inside 6 minutes.
So a very quick turret there for Korea. That will give them a little bit of bolstering in the lanes when they decide to go back and get the shop trip on. It'll also give them a chance to maybe shut down Diana a little bit, who honestly Ambition won't be able to do. Now Ambition has even more freedom roaming the map since there is no turret protecting Wei Zhao farming. If China wants to actually shut down Wei Zhao a little bit, which is nearly impossible in most games on Caitlyn farm, because he's farming in that empty turret, Ambition might have a chance to.
Well, we do hear Ambition using the taunt there on Messiah. Wow, this seems like a bit of a grudge match in the mid lane. Using the Get Real kit, I think it was, on towards Messiah as he pulls out that stun card, gets level 6. And actually, we haven't really had a chance to talk about these mid laners, how they've been doing against each other. You can see 42 to 46 CS, very close between them. Both have just hit their ultimates, and actually both have gone for very similar builds.
And the Double Doran's ring is more common on Twisted Fate against Diana because he needs a little bit of resiliency just to make sure the jump on doesn't instantly kill him. The Double Doran's on Diana is a little bit more curious since he went to the Crystalline Flask as well. Usually you'll see Double Doran's in top lane, but Diana might go a little quicker for either just straight up magic resist or a whole bunch of ability power.
This top lane is PDD under a little bit of pressure there. You can see the Tear of the Goddess was picked up early on by Shy, so he's going to start stacking that out. You can see he's clearly winning the CS battle, as you would expect. Jason's going to be able to clear those waves out very quickly. PDD really has to go with simple defensive, but there's going to be 2 members coming up there. We do see Insect and Shy, but it's quite clearly visible.
And actually, Mad Life forces the flash in mid lane, but I want to get back to this top lane matchup because Shy has spent this entire game push to PDD's turret, and it's really showing in the way that PDD hasn't been able to roam around. 20 minion kills already, and just now Troll is starting to come up top, but because of the way Insect outstole the blue buff at the start of the game here, Troll still isn't level 6, so Shy, for a little while longer, can still feel safe keeping this far up.
Now I want to look at what's developing in this bottom lane. There's a big CS advantage starting to build here. 38 CS for Prey, and 54 for Wei Zhao. There's going in. It's going to be Twisty Fate. It's going to be Wei Zhao's the target. There's no turret to fall back on. That's going to be the flash kill. He jumps on towards Zhao. Zhao gets the slowdown and the stun card. That will be 2 kills. It will be Korea that takes it. Ambition picks up the second.
And that was exactly the moment where Ambition wanted to go down. That has been set up for a while. Since they'd taken the turret earlier, we knew that Wei Zhao was going to be a little bit unsafe in that lane, but he was continually pushing up because he was trying to punish Prey's early game on Tristana. That's why Korea punished. That is the reactionary play that we've lauded Korea so much more. This might get a Dragon as well.
They may well take a big advantage here. That's going to stretch their gold lead to around about 3,000 gold. Just coming up to 8.5 minutes in this game. That is a sizable portion of gold already this early on.
Really, really huge lead. 3,000, 8 minutes in, considering how dominant China looked in some of their games. But Korea, as we said, has been the most dominant team throughout this one. They've really punched China in the face really early on here, and China really will have to, I'm saying really a lot, have to come back here.
Well, it really, really is a problem for them, because if there's any way in any sport to silence the home crowd, it's to put their team on the back foot very early on, and that is exactly what you're doing right now. The Koreans are in a dominant position. Can they continue to hold it, though? We've seen teams certainly going up against China before. North America comes straight to mind in game 2, but it's actually Paranoia that's caused the diving towards China top lane. This could be the first kill for China. Shy does flash away from this one. Will he be able to escape Troll? Surely we'll be able to land that Q in just a moment. He's going to be dead, you feel. There it is. It's going to be Troll picking up the first kill for China.
And Troll's really going to have to make that kill count, because that was the first time he's impacted the game in 9.5 minutes. Shy had been punishing PDD this entire time, and that was the very first time that he got punished for that. Troll will have to wait a while on his next ultimate cooldown, but if he doesn't make that kill count, it might not be worthwhile.
So I feel that PDD is saving up, maybe wants to get that Giant's Belt in there, but meanwhile you see Shy, he's going aggressive already. He's got that Brutalizer. The Tyranny Goddess has been stacking for a good few minutes already, and that longsword to go with it. He is going to be a problem right now.
And it's because of the extremely strong laning phase of Jace, plus the shutdown that happened on Troll early on in the game. So Shy, not sure if he's just going to continue to lane against PDD and try to press that advantage, or whether he's going to press mid a little bit to allow Ambition to roam around more.
Well, let's take a look at the AD carries. Look at Prey. He is rushing that Infinity Edge. He's already got the BF sword and the pickaxe comparison to just Berserker Greaves and double longsword. In terms of damage, that is a huge difference.
And it's a really good thing that his team has been getting him kills, that China has a turret and that China has a dragon, because 48 mini kills on Tristana, 10.5 minutes into the game, is abysmally low. Wei Zhao and Zhao Zhao have been doing such a great job shutting down his CS in that lane, but he's been getting it back in other ways, so that's why the damage is actually that high.
We'll see whether that is able to sustain as this game goes on. Insect picks up the red buff, and we do also see Troll going around, looking at maybe trying to set something up. We've got the AD carry and supports of Mad Life and Wei, sorry, not Mad Life and Wei Zhao, dream team right there. Zhao Zhao and Wei Zhao, which is another dream team. Certainly China's dream team have moved into this mid lane. They're now up against Ambition.
And this may be trying to stop Ambition's roam here, but it was just the one Twisted Fate gank on Wei Zhao. Maybe they're trying to make sure Wei Zhao can't get ganked by TF by just staying next to him and not having to worry about it. Have to wait to see how that one plays out.
Yeah, it does, of course, give free roam for the bottom lane. Prey is going to get some of that free farm. Nobody anywhere near him right now, so he can just keep on shoving. He's got good ward coverage. We do see 3 members of the Korean All-Stars moving in towards this mid lane. Mad Life joining Ambition, and that is going to be Insect just bouncing around, safeguarding around those wards.
And something that's quite underrated about the Lee Sin jungle when you go Sightstone is the immense amount of just random ward coverage you're able to create. Since he can use it for combat effectiveness, the Sightstone, the Lee Sin really just has the gank power as well as the map control, which may allow Shy to continue to push up since they have double the Sightstone of a normal team.
And look at PDD's build. He did go for that Giant Spell, but he also went for a second cloth armor. So he's stacking up really in a mixed match of what to build, whereas Shy, he has full control of that lane, it seems. But the CS difference is not that great, because Zach is quite happy just literally absorbing it on the tower.
But the big difference is Shy hasn't had to build any reactive items. If Twisted Fate goes up and ganks PDD, he will be completely vulnerable to that magic damage. That's the reason You know, even though he's absorbing it, it's the build that's going to cost him later.
Paranoia comes out, but Insect is right there. There's China going to dive on them. They won't be able to get the damage down in the meantime, but here comes Ambitious to join the party. He's going to come in, gets the stun card on PDD. Shy gets away with absolutely nothing, and that is going to be the passive proc. But Prey and Messiah going at it as well. It's going to be Messiah that picks up the kill for China, but it's Korea that comes out on top with the double kill in the top lane.
Big time reactionary play right there. You have to say they sniffed out the troll ganks from Nocturne, and Twisted Fate ran into position to stop it. They drew out the fight long enough that he was able to get out there. And then in the bottom lane, Prey actually thought all the action was happening up top. He forgot that Messiah may actually be rolling down to hunt him, ends up getting a kill for himself as well.
So Messiah may well put some pressure on this turret. They've got a double wave with him. They may be able to take this one down. Mad Life and Ambition back in this mid lane, of course. Wei Zhao and Xiao Zhao keeping that pressure going. There is a CS advantage still building between the AD carries. It is around about 33 minions right now, and it's Prey that's definitely falling behind. That's going to be Messiah taking the turret down on the bottom. Well, will Mad Life come in time? No, he won't. And now Mad Life may be in trouble. Gets the flight just at the right time for Messiah. He really throws out. He does look like it is. That's going to be Prey taking the Dark Passage. Will he be able to jump on towards Messiah's head? The rocket jump is available. He does go for it. And now you can see it's actually China that are getting ready for this one. We have Troll coming down. He doesn't have his ultimate available. That's going to be a kill. And it's Messiah that goes down. But now Preymail will maybe target. Shy's going to come down. It's a 3v2 for Korea here. They're turning it around. Wei Zhao getting massacred there. Absolutely knocked him back. Flashes away from Mad Life's hook.
That was amazing judgment there by the Korean team to know to go in, because it seemed like a very foolish endeavor trying to chase down a Diana that far away, since he had just killed Prey previously, and you think there'd be a bit of fear still in him, especially considering the length of the chase. The fear of a collapse coming in from China is really high, but they judged it right, got out with the kill, and now they're up 5-2.
Well, they just judged it because, I mean, even looking across the board, they all had the boots. That anyone that was likely to get remotely close to that fight, the boots were there. But it is Korea that are continuing to shove on the mid lane now. They may well be able to take the turret. They did get the blue buff a moment ago. It's Mad Life that lands the hook, but PDD comes in. He gets less bounce going. Mad Life does get the shield out. He will go down. Troll flashes away from this one. Now can they turn it on towards Insect? We do see in the top lane, where is Ambition going? He's just going to back off, as are the rest of the Korean team. It's now 5-3 in kills.
PDD really trying to make an impact now. He's out of the laning phase against Shy because his turret has fallen, and we may see more plays like that. Let's Bounce is not on an extremely long cooldown, and he can fly all over the place with that elastic shot.
So we'll see how China do react. They've clumped together into a 4-man team right now. We do see Troll off the distance. He has got Paranoia available as well. And of course, it looks like China will split out. They need to start trying to put some pressure on the turrets. We see Korea. They already have 2 turrets. That middle turret is very, very low as well. So that is almost certainly going to be the place where Korea starts to put the next pressure.
And this could be a bit of a breaking point for the LPL squad if they can't turn something around quickly, because we know with the Tristana pick and the Jace pick, once that Muramana transforms and once Tristana gets 2 or 3 items under her belt, the game is going to get much, much darker for China. But they're losing this hit. They're losing it now.
They're losing it now because Messiah just got absolutely destroyed. Shy and Insect, they seem to be roaming and working very well together. Very mobile champions, and Dragon now is the target for Korea.
And they are going to try to burst this down as quickly as possible. They cleared the pink board to block the Messiah teleport if they were to come in about 18 seconds when he reses up. A great Dragon after kill, but they're trying to turn on Ambition.
They pull the Paranoia down, but the stun guard came straight out, and he's Troll that may well get taken down. Yes, he is. They're going to do the Dark Passage. They pull Ambition away, and he walks away with a kill. It might not be the last, though, because PDD is the next target. Wei Zhao also gets focused. There's a exhaust down on Shy there, but PDD, it's Insect is jumping towards him. Doesn't quite land the Q. PDD they're on to Shy. They get Shy. It's a Messiah that comes in there this time around. And now Prey may be the next target. Oh, PDD, you stuck around. Insect has found you. That's the power available. The passage is up. And now let's bounce on Insect. He tries to get away. Takes the Dark Passage once again from Mad Life and walks away. Wow, what a game.
Are you kidding me? I think that was a 1-for-1. They're fighting for about 45 seconds. Such execution, but after that, look at the goal lead, D-man. It's almost 6,000 right now, so Korea, despite the hecticness of this game, must realize they're getting quite a big lead here.
You see Ambition, oh, he backed away just in the right time then. I thought maybe Wei Zhao and Troll might find him, but wow, what a game. Definitely going for it now, and like you mentioned, I think China realized the situation they're in. Like, we have to create something. We can't afford to let this middle turret go. Mad Life hooking on the minions. It looks like he's going to say, well, I'll take a few just before Shy gets here.
may as well. They're going to be going to nothing. And I got to point out the 173 farm that Ambition has on Twisted Fate over Messiah. That is a monstrous advantage. I think some of that had to do with the AD carry and support coming mid lane and actually relegating Messiah a bit to a side lane later on in the game, and that's one of the reasons Ambition's getting up there. But that first pick, Twisted Fate, is actually paying off right now.
Paranoia is not available, but Messiah doesn't care. He goes in on towards Insec, and well, takes a chunk of damage from Ambition for the pleasure. That turret, though, in that mid lane is incredibly low now, and it's Insec actually coming around, putting that ward down in preparation for that tower to fall. They know the blue buff is actually going to be up soon.
And the turret's so close to falling that LPL cannot be safe in here.
There's going to be Insec. There's the turret. Troll's in trouble. He gets caught out, but Insec may well go down in the process. Yes, it is. It's a 1-for-1, but the turret goes to Korea, and Wei Xiao was the one that picked up the kill. That's going to be Messiah getting caught out. He gets stunned up. Ambition comes in, and Shy picks up the double kill.
Just gifting the kill there to Shy at the end because Ambition had done such a good job chasing Messiah through the jungle. China should not have been waiting at that sliver turret because the flank was there and they are quite far behind.
They are very far behind now in Korea. Not needing the minions here, keeping the pressure straight on that turret, getting some hits in it. Here comes the conga line of minions and his PDD. He's charging up, he's thinking of going for this one. Elastic slingshot bounces in there, but straight into the play of Madlife, and that forces him back. Now Madlife puts the hook down. PDD is going to get dropped. He gets the passive straight away. Can they clear out the passive, or will China be able to defend it? They will, but you can see Ambition, he wants it. He's going to throw the wild card through. Not going to be enough. Paranoia comes out for Troll. He's going to chase in there. He will get the Fearless. Ace in the hole lands out from Wei Xiao. Is it enough? Stun card comes in. That's going to be a shock blast from range, and Ambition walks away for the safety.
Woo. So he got a little bit greedy trying to finish off all the bloblets, and Troll tried to punish him for it. But in the end, that cost China again more than it costed Korea, and they continue to press this lead.
Big difference. Where is Messiah going? He's going to the top for Troll. Ambition, sorry, hadn't finished him off there. I'm so used to seeing Twisted Fate Messiah. I just got completely excited. But it is Insec. He's looking for the kill here. He's sniffing around, lands it on Wei Xiao, forces him away. He can take his pick here, but then again, China could turn around on him.
I feel like that Twisted Fate ultimate served a dual purpose because it seems rather foolish to try to use that TF ult just to kill Troll since he could spell shield your gold card. But he was also giving Insec vision to maybe try to pick up another kill. Because China was safely enough away and in their turrets, it didn't happen, but it was that dual purpose Twisted Fate ult.
Look at the pressure that Insec is keeping on Messiah here. Keeps coming in, poking around that. It's going to be Messiah that goes in, goes aggressive, but they're still keeping on that blue buff, and he's just going to safeguard straight away to Madlife. Doesn't he need the Dark Passage?
That was rude.
That was rude.
There was nothing that Messiah could do to actually get that blue buff. Complete safety by Insec and Madlife. Really just toying with Messiah on that blue.
They are having fun, it seems here. The Korean LCL team, Messiah clears out the wave. Let's have a look across the minion waves and the items. And that lead that's building up between Wei Xiao and Prey is pretty huge. It's just shy of 50 minions, or just over 50 minions. But more importantly, as you pointed out, Ambition versus Messiah. That swings completely the opposite direction. In gold terms, it is nearly 4,000 now.
And it's 4,000 for the mid laners, but it's still even for Prey and Wei Xiao, which is why they're completely okay having the Tristana here as really safety. Because they've won the early game and mid game thanks to the Lee Sin and the Twisted Fate. And if it gets to late game, then Prey's going to be able to take off because he's sticking solid with Wei Xiao despite getting punished early game.
Well, and of course, you've got to take into account, obviously, the Twisted Fate passive that it gives you. So you're going to be gaining gold everything you do, every little bit of time. 21 minutes into the game, it's got to be around about 1,000 plus already just from that passive.
Yeah, I mean, quick math, that's about close to 600 minion kills, so an easy 1,200 gold just taken because of Twisted Fate. One of the underestimated facts of Twisted Fate sometimes, not only does he get global presence, he just gives people money.
He gives everybody the money. It's a personal piggy bank right there. But as it is, Shy is going up the top. He's completely dominating that lane. He was putting the pressure all over PDD, and PDD is simply being reactive the whole time. He's not been the monster that we've seen throughout this tournament so far. It looks like his last exchange clock will get charged up if only I could say the word, and he does manage to clear out the way. But, well, they may be in trouble here.
And the even more dangerous thing is Shy is pretty much at a perfect point for his item build. Mermana transform with the Brutalizer and the Last Whisper. Well stacking armor penetration, and Korea has no qualms about turret diving and finishing games early.
Ooh, Xiao Xiao taking a big hit from the shot blast. You see Insec landing that Q once again on PDD. And I think it's safe to say the best Lee Sin player in the world right now, as has been proven between the two. Wei Xiao there, just getting taken low, and again the Q lands. It's Wei Xiao, he wants to get it on though. You can see the pressure continuing to be put down by Shai, and the Korean team setting up for this one. Messiah and Ambition in the mid lane, they keep holding off that lane against each other.
And Korea's really just trying to find a window here. They have the jungle in between the two lanes completely littered with wards, thanks to Insect Sightstone and Mad Life's Ruby Sightstone. When they find a window, they might go, or they're just keeping LPL scared and making sure they can't get snuck up on.
Kept the pressure down. Insect does manage to finally get in there, looking to get on Wei Xiao, and look at that. Ambition kept the pressure on, continuing. They do manage to go in towards Messiah there as well, putting the damage down, but that's another 2 turrets picked up, and the gold lead now is 9,000.
5 turrets to 1 as well. This is actually the turret number that happened in the North American game when I was sitting up with Joe on the couch and we said, yeah, this game is probably over at this point because it's so hard to come back from this 10,000 gold lead this early on in the game. Korea's just going to continue to let it grow, and as long as they don't make a mistake, I think they have this one.
I do think they have it. We do see Prey heading down the bottom. He's going to keep that giant wave pushing along the bottom. The bottom inner turret is the only one standing now. So that almost certainly will be Korea's next target, but they are starting to go back and build some more items. We do see the Rabadon's Death Cap, Abyssal Scepter on Ambition already in comparison. Messiah, well, look at it. He's only got that Abyssal Scepter and Sorcerer's Boots, and he is missing a complete item, and that is the big difference in the goal.
And it's not like he's missing a little tiny item. He's missing a Rabadon's Death Cap, the second, I think the second most expensive ability power item in the game. That's actually wrong, but it's a very expensive ability power item. It's super expensive is the big thing to note here. Not a good sign. We've seen so many different Twisted Fate builds coming out. We've seen Lichbane rushes, we've seen just Zhonya's Hourglass rushes, but because he was landing against a Diana, Abyssal Scepter to make sure he didn't get spiked out, and because they're so far ahead, he decided to go for that Death Cap so he can just destroy someone in the combo.
And in terms of the supports as well, we're also seeing a bit of a difference. They've both got the Ruby Soul Stone, but you can see the Philo Stones, but there is a boots of mobility compared to no boots at all.
And I think a lot of that also just has to do with the general gold advantage. Lulu would love to have boots of mobility,
yeah,
so she could run in and just snare people with Glitter Lance, but there's no luxury, and the Ruby Sightstone is much more of a necessity than boots of mobility.
And then in terms of junglers, you can see it's actually more of a support from Insect. He's going for that Runic Bulwark, and he's going to have the Runic Bulwark very soon, of course. Also went for that Sightstone, a pretty expensive item in itself.
And we knew coming into this that someone on the Korean team was going to have to make sacrifices as far as to make this team work, and so far it's been Insect.
Oh my god, Shai from range just pokes down and drops where Zhao Zhao where he stands, and that is the third inner turret now down.
And some of that has to do with the sacrifice that Insect has put in. As he goes in, might try to start this fight. He's just having fun with his jungle gym right now.
You can see, just safeguards. He's got that dark pass. He's just like, I'm just going to bounce around the map and keep the cameraman on his toes. The pressure now being put on towards this inhibitor turret.
And it's because of the 74 mini kills on Insect that those Shock Blasts are killing, and that Ambition has so many mini kills. Insect is a support role right now. He is an initiator who will go in, kick someone back, and that is his job. They have enough late game awesomeness on their team that they don't need him to scale up. So all he's doing is building tank utility and making fights happen.
And because of the difference between the two AP players, the mid lane is Ambition and Messiah, we're seeing Ambition continuing to keep split pushing, keep that pressure on the mid line, and simply put, Messiah can't beat pound for pound right now.
They can't fight any of them pound for pound, which is why we're actually seeing this kind of triple push, because they know Korea does, wherever they go, no one on China is going to be able to duel them. China will have to force a fight at some point. Maybe it'll be now.
Well, PDD goes in and takes a chunk of damage. It's not quite all the abilities they were hoping for. Paranoia does get used, but he's going to be suicidal if he goes in on that one and chooses wisely to back away. But nevertheless, that's an ulti burn.
And it's a... Okay, just the one ulti burn, as well as Messiah's will be on cooldown. I have to give credit where it's due to Mad Life here. Every time Diana is ulting in, he is starting a play, and it's actually preventing the damage from applying on that Diana ult because she never connects with her target.
And there's going to be the middle turret going down. It's PDD they're going to target on. They throw out the wildcards and the stuns. Messiah goes in on Insect, forces him away. But Wei Xiao and Zhao Zhao had already backed away from that turret. They may well get a second inhibitor turret from this one. They choose to back away. They haven't taken the inhibitor down, but it doesn't matter. Two completely exposed inhibitor, that is disastrous for China.
They need to do something really drastic and very quickly. I'd have to say every play that China will make for the rest of this game is going to be low percentage. So they're hoping right now that Korea tries to go for Baron, or that they backed in different situations from each other. Insec is a little greedy sticking around. This might be LPL's small chance.
Well, we see Troll going in, but he immediately gets ulti kicked straight away, and Wei Zhao and Zhao Zhao, they can't chase this one up. Only single boots for Zhao Zhao. He's not going to be able to chase it down, but Mad Life is there. He thought about maybe closing the gap. He had that Oracle ready. He wanted to clear out the wards, but Insec kind of led the Chinese team straight to it.
Yeah, Insec had so many free ways of getting back in that one, and that's one of the reasons I think China didn't overchase. He still actually had 2 charges on his Cyclone, so we could have war jumped if things actually would have went badly. So total safety, even though it looked a little greedy.
Looks a little greedy, but look at the damage items, the difference. Shy compared to PDD. PDD has had to go complete tank. He had that Sunfire Gate built a while ago, but really is struggling to build anything else because all of China are having to clump up as a unit to defend. And Shy, meanwhile, well, he's a farming machine right now. Black Cleaver, Last Whisper, and the Muruman have completed. Well, it's not even a close fight.
Scary. It's just a little bit scary. Prey is also starting to reach that late game Tristana, so the insurance is paying out, even though they didn't need it. So they're just rolling in money right now.
Absolutely rolling in it. Wei Zhao being a long way up lane here, to be fair, with that many exposed items. He really hasn't got a great ward coverage in that jungle either, but the rest of the Chinese team were lingering around there, sort of all as a complete protective unit.
And Korea is continuing the triple push. They're not trying to do a Baron because they realize that might be a situation where they lose the game. They'd rather skirmish around the 3 inhibitors, whittle them down, get the inhibitors down, and just win the slow and steady way.
And they've got a creep wave coming in. Remember, it's just about 2 shots left on that turret.
They might fight here.
In 1. It is going to be 1 shot. Prey makes just 1 more. It will finish it off. There goes the turret. 2 down, and there's going to be the shot blast once again on Wei Zhao, and it is doing chunks of damage to him.
And they're showing Korea is a surprising amount of restraint because they might have Twisted Fate open in LPL trying to make a play.
They're diving on towards Ambition. The Paranoia comes out. They do manage to get on towards him, as does Messiah. There's going to be the Wild Growth, but it is simply put not enough. And Korea, as a full-strength unit, now move in. There's going to be Messiah surely getting dropped down. He'll go down. PDD, he's bouncing around the team, but the rest of them have had to back off. The passive comes out. That is going to be PDD over and done with, and that may well be close to the game for Korea.
Another last-ditch effort by China. You cannot fault them for going in on that, but they lose their 2 biggest damage dealers. Wei Zhao, the only person who does damage to escape this. All 5 are up for Korea. They may try to push this one through without super minions.
Oh, we see that's going to be the second inhibitor down. Looks like they may back away from this one. Korea playing it safe, and why not? The game is in the palm of their hands. They have no reason to risk it and go for the game.
And especially with the Oracles on Mad Life, while running this way back through the Baron Pit, they can not only check to see if they got seen running towards the Baron Pit, they can check in the Baron Pit, which is what they're going to see right now. They realize LPL doesn't have the capacity of stopping this one, as Troll has no ultimate up.
Well, I believe it was called the freight train move there, as all 4 members go over the wall and take the Baron.
I never understood why a freight train jumps over walls.
I don't know what walls a freight train can jump over. Maybe it should be called something different.
Maybe.
But it worked anyway, nevertheless, and it is Korea that are stomping their way through this one. It is 8,000 gold lead, and more importantly, it's 8-1 in turrets and 2 inhibitors currently down. So what do China have to do to turn it around in the next match?
China's got to do a lot of thinking, and I think one of the big things is find a way to punish more early. Since they picked a very early game composition, then lost it, Insect had a huge amount of pressure, I think. North America may have had it figured when they were banning out Lee Sin. There's so much to try to take out against these teams, but Insect's Lee Sin, I feel, was the MVP of the Korean team in their first round, and it may even be into this game, even though he's only got 77 minutes.
Ooh, Insect trying to get on towards Wei Zhao, and the shot blast catches on. It takes him down to half health. And as you mentioned, you know, the fact that the turret went down first, it was Korea that actually used effectively a Chinese tactic. Oh my God, Insect is going deep on this one. It's going to be, well, Ambition will join him. No, it doesn't matter because the surrender has come out. And wow, would you believe it? A strong, dominant performance from Korea in game 1 there. They just looked unstoppable.
And it looked like Insect had lost his mind a little bit there at the end, and I was actually ready to go with it. It's like he saw a window, he's going, oh wait, there was a surrender. Well, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, who are we to question him? He's just absolutely dominant on Lee Sin there. Maybe that's one of the bans that may well have to come out.
I really think you got to take away that Lee Sin. I was not a believer.